Alrighty, it's Monday, February 1st, and we're going to review some homework problems that we've done and haven't corrected or gotten credit for. So the first one we're going to do is the airplane FRQ. All right. Airlines routinely overbook flights because they can expect a certain number of no-shows. An airline runs a 5 p.m. commuter flight from Washington, D.C. to New York City on a plane that holds 38 passengers. Past experience has shown that if 41 tickets are sold, then the probability distribution for the number who actually show up for the flight is shown in the table below. All right, if there are 38 seats on the flight, what's your probability that everyone who shows up will get a seat? So for that one, you just have to add the first three together. 0.46, 0.3, and 0.16 gets us to, I believe, 0.92. And I would like you to, hang on, have some notation with that. You can just write probability of 36 or 37 or 38 because those are disjoint events, or you could write the probability that x is less than or equal to 38, or the probability that x is less than 39. Those mean the exact same thing in the discrete world. Show your work and the 0.92. Do you have to show the words in green? No, you don't. They didn't ask you to interpret. You don't need those sentences. I do want you to have the probability notation, one of those three. To get full credit on the AP test, you'd have to have the 0.46 plus the 0.3 plus the 0.16 equals 0.92. If you just have 0.92, they might not give you any credit at all, which would be sad. All right, for the next part, I kind of want to know if you got this on your own, because a lot of you did, or if you got it because you looked at the helpful homework hints, which I don't care which way you got it. I just want to know, and I'll tell you how to tell me that in a moment. The word expected is a key word. Whenever you see the word expected, you should know you're doing the top times the bottom thing. So if I do it like it is, I expect 36.9 passengers, and since we sold 41 tickets, I'd have to subtract to get the 4.1 expected no-shows. Do not round in probability FRQs. Yes, I realize you can't have 4.1 people, but this is an expected or average value. The other way you could do that I put in my helpful hints is show how many people won't show. If all 41 people show up, then there's 0 no-shows. If it's 40 people, there's 1 no-show. So you'd go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, multiply that out, and you get 4.1 that way. So I don't care which way you did it. And I'll tell you how to let me know if you did that on your own or not in just a moment. And then part C really doesn't have too much to do with these other problems. They're just seeing if you can read and pay attention. Given that not every passenger has filled, or not all passenger seats are filled, that means you're in the 36 and 37, because there's exactly 38 seats. So if they're not all filled, we're either at 36 or 37, or fewer. Apparently they don't take off unless there's 36 people on board, I don't know. Okay, given that that is the case, what's the probability that it's 36 and there's actually 2 extra seats? Well, that would be 0.46 divided by the 0.46 plus the 0.3, which is 0.76. And then you should just leave that, I don't know, leave at least 3 decimals, 0.065 or 0.0653. And some type of notation, even if you just write it out. Okay. I'm actually going to have you carefully snap that out of your packet or tear it out or whatever. Up by your name, either put the initials ME or put the initials HH. So if your name's up here, either put me, I did it all by myself, that's me, or put HH for I got some help from the homework, hence to do part B, or maybe even some other parts, but I'm mostly just concerned about part B right now. All right, any questions on that one? When I was handing these out, I think, but I'm not positive, that we already had you do corrections for the graduation GPA distributions. Is that right? Did we already talk about that? Okay, so that should go back into your red folder. You have red folders, green folders, blue, green folders. So there should be two things in your green folder right now, the airplanes and the graduation. If you're not sure your graduation is in good shape, you can go to the classwork tab, and right here, gender differences, the FRQ, you can click on that, and it will bring up the answers. And I think we already, the reason I thought we had already done this is because I think we'd already circled the words. And that's how I'm doing it. Everybody okay back there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So where was I? I was right here, and then I clicked on that, and then I was trying to click on this, and that happened. All right. Just to be sure, does anybody have any questions on their graduation cap GPA distributions page? I just have to give you credit for that, I think. But if anybody had questions, and Tyler, we haven't found yours yet? You did? Excellent. Does everybody else have this paper? Oh, that's right, because yeah.
Do we still need to put it in the green folder then?
Yes, please, because I haven't given, there's no points on it. If there's just like yeah. Once there's points on something, then you can put it in your binder. All right, let's look at the catapult. Let's get all this boring stuff done. So Lily, if you have these at home, you can wait and just take a picture of all of them and email it to me. All right, the catapult has three parts. The first part is comparing. Comment on the similarities and differences. So, I said those distributions are relatively similar. The distribution of distances for B is shaped very similar to that of A. They're both symmetric and bell-shaped. So I circled my compare word there. If you don't have the compare words in, then when you get this graded by an AP reader, it's as if like you didn't do the problem at all. Then the centers, the median of A, and I counted them up because it said there were 40. Somewhere it says there's 40 ping pong balls, so I just counted till I was at between 20 and 21. And the center for A was at 136. The center for B was at 138. That doesn't make B a better catapult just because it catapulted the ping pong balls further. Because that wasn't the point to this carnival game. So A has a shorter distance than B, but the key for B is that it doesn't spread out as much. The range of B is smaller than that of A's. A has a range of 33 and B has a range of 11. And then finally, I said it looks like A has a few outliers and B doesn't appear to have any. All right, for part B, it says, which catapult are you choosing? and make sure when you read through your statement for B that it's pretty clear that you're choosing B because it has the closest clump, not the clump that's closest to the center, but the clump that's the most dense within a 5 centimeter block of points. So for B, out of the 40 test ping pong balls, 30 of the 40 are within this 5 centimeter range from 136 to 140. But you have to go a little bit backwards to get that same amount for catapult A, and then it's only 22 of the 40. So I'm picking B not because the balls are hitting at its median, but because they're the most clumped together. It has the biggest clump that is in a 5 centimeter mini spread or something. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to, but it's because of how compact the clump is, not because the clump is closer to the center. And that's important to get full credit. And then it says, okay, so now you've chosen a catapult to use. Where would you place the catapult? How far away? Well, I just said that B, in the last problem, goes out to 138, right? So that's where I would place it. Because from 136 to 140 is the 5 centimeter little cluster that's the most compact, and halfway between that is at 138. Woohoo! All right, so do we do this last one with the sugar and cereal and just get it done so we don't have to come back to it? Because this is not my favorite, but I really need to get these graded for you. Looking forward to my night tonight. Yep. Right now you have 2 pieces of pink paper and a white airplane paper in your green folder. And then we're going to put 1 more pink paper. However, the pink paper you took off the back with the drugs A and B, that can just go into your binder somewhere where you're keeping FRQ practices. All right, we ready for the cereal? Get her done, son. Okay. So, of course, the very first question, I think you can see a pattern here, is it's compare the 2 distributions. So there's a lot of comparing, and somewhere in the AP statistics test, I will kind of bet that you're going to have to compare a distribution to like at least a couple. So looking at this, I say that the 3/4 cup is approximately symmetric, because with my eyes, I can go like this and say, okay, that's how big that first half is, and if I move it there, it's pretty close. It's not perfect, but it's close. But if I do that with the 1 cup, the left side is a heck of a lot bigger than the right side. So I'm going to say that the 1 cup is skewed to the left and the 3/4 cup is approximately symmetric. And I don't say anything about bell-shaped. Oh, that's going backwards. Here we go. So I just say that they're different. The 1 cup is skewed left and the 3/4 cup is relatively symmetric. So there's my compare word. Now I look for medians because these are box plots and they tell me the median. The median of the 1 cup looks like it's about at 13, and that is higher than the median of the 3/4 cup, which is at 10. So basically this is kind of false advertising because it's telling you that the children's cereal has less sugar content than the adults. But that is not the case. They did that so in case you don't look closely to see that that's a smaller serving size, you would think, oh, cereals are terrible. Does anybody try to watch how much sugar they take? And cereal's awful. Same thing with like granola bars and stuff. My friend Connie Kramer always tells me it's okay to eat the cereal or the granola bar if there's more fiber in it than sugar. Well, that is hardly able to be found. You can barely find something like that.
Oh, I was gonna ask, did you say like not to mention skew when you describe box plot?
Don't mention like it's bell-shaped or you can mention symmetry or not symmetry. And you can kind of mention skew, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes. Oh, and also spread. Go ahead.
I think someone left their catapult, like,
It could be somebody else's. I thought that was yours. Is anybody missing their catapult that did it on graph paper? Thank you. There you go. All right, so that's part A. Part B says, now we're going to fix the problem. We are going to, oh, this is what somebody else wrote, which you can click if you can't see it all the way up here. If you guys back in the back, Philip, Emma, if you can't see it, you can get to this through the Google Classroom daily thing. Like you can go right here to today's, and there's the gender differences, there's the catapult, and now we're on the cereal and sugar. Okay, so the second part says, all right, now we're going to fix it. So we're going to multiply the 3/4 cup by 4/3, making it 1. What new information do we have? Well, now the means are the medians are almost identical. In fact, the 3/4 cup mean is a little bit higher than the 1 cup. And the range is the same-ish. Well, it's been transformed, but it starts up higher. The range has been shifted. So now we can see, those children's cereals really aren't better. There's a lot of sugar in them, and none of them have as few as the 1 cup. My whole K-12 experience, I had to eat a bowl of bran flakes, just bran flakes, and milk, before I was allowed to have Frosted Flakes. They're great. That was our treat. Bran flakes, 1 bowl, then you could have a sugary treat. Apparently Frosted Flakes are the bomb, because my father, who's 93, eats Frosted Flakes for breakfast every morning with a nice big nasty glazed roll from Great Value and a little glass of orange juice and coffee. That's it, the breakfast of, I don't know, he's 93, can't really argue with that.
Does he eat the bran flakes before eating the?
Nope, no bran flakes. Are you kidding? My mom's not alive anymore. He doesn't have to do that. Not really.
Would you ever just eat sugary cereal, or is your thing still that you have to eat something healthy before you eat the sugary cereal?
Oh no, I'd eat. Like, I'm gonna say that Fruity Pebbles was pretty good, but my favorite is Peanut Butter Captain Crunch. That's why it's on the front of this sheet. Peanut Butter Captain Crunch is my favorite. But you gotta eat it before it gets like slimy bubbles, because that starts getting nasty.
Yeah.
But then when you eat it when it's still crunchy, it like destroys the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
So if you can find Nutter Butter peanut butter breakfast cereal, it's not balls, it's little, almost looks like a little thumbprint. It's not a round ball, and so it doesn't do that to your mouth.
I think the slime was in the crunch.
Yeah?
Yeah. On stage.
Not me. Growing up, our big before going to bed treat was graham crackers and milk. Like, and that was before you had the cinnamon and sugar graham crackers, just the normal graham crackers. And I would stack mine up and I would drop it into the milk one at a time and I would flip it over a couple times and then I'd eat it. Because if you put all of them in there together and then pour the milk, ooh, it's just sog. It's like slush. So that's how I eat mine. We didn't have as many exciting things. Like there was Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, and there were Boo Berry. What else was there back in the day? Honeycomb? Honeycomb's big. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not small. No, no, no. Does honeycomb still exist?
I think so.
I think so.
Honeycomb's got a big, big bite. And then tricks are for kids. Silly rabbit.
Did you guys have Raisin Bran?
Oh yes, that would be
Raisin
like
Bran's really good.
if we got to eat Raisin Bran before the Frosted Flakes. That was a day. That was a day to put down in the year.
So they still counted it as one of the healthy cereals?
My mom did because it's raisins. That was good for you back in the day.
How
Yep.
big are these bowls of cereal?
Not that big.
Okay.
They're not like they're not the deep soup bowl kind. They're like just the little.
Okay. I thought you were just like out here pounding down bowls of cereal just so you could get that.
No. My daughter eats regular Cheerios every day.
Ew.
Not the honey.
She likes the regular old run-of-the-mill Cheerios.
Not
Have
very
you guys seen the new chocolate strawberry?
I had that this morning.
They're so good.
Chocolate
How good
strawberry
are they?
Cheerios?
Yeah. The wheat
How
Strawberry
good are they?
chocolate.
They're so good.
They're amazing.
How good are they?
I just had them last night.
They're really good.
My son's a cinnamon toast crunch type of guy.
No, those are always disappointing.
Yeah?
No,
They get
no.
slimy.
You
No,
don't like
they're good.
cinnamon toast
Cinnamon
They
toast
are-
Have you
they're
guys-
so good.
Have you seen the bowls that separate the milk from the cereal and you can like splash the milk over when
No,
you're
no,
ready?
the best part of Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like how long it sits in the water so that you have the cinnamon milk at the end.
The water?
You're like
The
a
water.
slimy
the
cereal
milk, my
person.
bad. I did have cereal with water once because we ran out of milk. Would not recommend it.
No.
It's a bad idea.
And having it with orange juice is not near the same.
Yeah. Or like
You think for a second you're eating it with milk, and then all of a sudden you're like, ooh, this milk is like sour. It's like expired. And then you're like, no, it's orange juice. Ooh, because that was always on my table. Milk and orange juice growing up.
don't you like see I mean what's white and what's like orange?
Honey, it's in the morning.
It's in the morning.
And can you not see or something? Like when does your vision come in every morning?
I don't know. When I was
Hey,
a teenager, I don't remember. That was like 40 years ago. Seriously, 40 years ago, I don't remember. I just remember thinking that it was, ooh, that's just awful. And that happens a lot if you got to pick up a glass of something and you think it's something else you're drinking. Like for a split second, you almost convince yourself that it's what you thought it was, and then you're like, ooh.
I mean yeah, I'll do that, but like
That's
a
the
whole bowl
placebo
of
effect.
cereal, pouring in orange juice, and then eating it without realizing is like another level.
I don't think I ate the whole. I think I ate a couple bites. And then
Well, yeah, I hope you didn't eat the whole thing.
Listen, Mr. Slimy Cereal.
Yeah, listen to this slime
I mean,
cereal.
I'm right. I don't know why you guys are telling me.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Slimy cereal.
It's better that way. I don't. I'm right. I mean,
Are
I,
you
Is he
left-handed?
walking out?
no,
Is he walking out?
I'm right-handed.
Okay. Then
No,
you're
I
in
just
your
don't-
left brain.
I'm just. I don't know. I'm
All
not
right,
wrong about things.
Let's just figure this out. So it is the median has changed, and now it's in a different location on the graph, and the range is slightly bigger. Now it asks, how would you expect the means of the cereals to differ, or what would they be? Well, the mean of the 3/4 cup is probably going to be very close to 13 because it's relatively symmetric. But the mean of the 1 cup cereals is going to be a lot less than 13 because of the skew, and it would be really nice, hint, nudge, do it, to put the word non-resistant. because the mean is non-resistant to the skew, it will be less than 13 for the 1 cup cereals. I really like the pumpkin flavored Cheerios. I have a couple extra boxes of those.
Yeah, those are good.
If you try to buy those off season, like go right now on Amazon and look for pumpkin Cheerios, they're like $20 a box.
Really?
Oh,
You gotta stock up.
It's like sprayed cranberry.
yeah.
I love those. I like cranberry bagels and I really like pumpkin spice bagels. But those you gotta stock up and put them in the freezer too.
Original sprayed cranberry is hard to come by.
Original what?
Sprayed cranberry,
Oh, yeah.
because after that it turned into winter spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like cranberry ginger ale too.
No,
It's not the same.
it's not the same.
What's not the same?
Make them spray with cranberry.
Well, you can just,
No,
there's a
just-
special flavor to it. Because it's not like there's real cranberries in sprayed
There's not real cranberries and cranberries inside it.
Apparently, there's no tuna in the Subway tuna either.
Oh,
There's
so
no,
we've
There's
heard.
no tuna in something.
there's no trace of fish in Subway tuna.
Do we know that for a fact or was that just a myth that was?
I mean, but you know what is a fact? There is tuna in Jersey Mike's Tuna, and you should come get some dinner there sometime when Phil and I are there. That is
Alright.
a fact.
You know what is also a fact is that the hamburger buns at McDonald's have a sugary coated topping.
I believe that.
If you lick the top of a hamburger bun at McDonald's, you can taste the sugar on it.
Ew.
In,
Oh, gross.
in some countries, they classify Subway bread as cake because there's so much sugar in it.
I believe it. Eating healthy is just a big bummer.
Yeah. Big Tex are sugar free.
Especially when you like chocolate, it's hard to eat healthy. And I love chocolate.
The only reason Big Tex are sugar free is
There's a lot of things that like last month
so
About the what?
That's tuna.
Oh, yeah, for
Almost the
Subway?
same.
It's less than a
Like
gram.
last month.
There's less than a gram of sugar in each Tic Tac, so they count as sugar free, even though they're basically 100% sugar.
There you go. There is that loophole. If it's under a gram, you don't have to count it.
Yeah.
Yep. And the sugar substitutes are supposed to be worse for you.
Yeah.
Okay, are we done with that?
It tastes worse.
Yep.
If we're eating straight sweet,
Yeah.
not good. You know,
I don't usually just eat straight sugar either.
I mean, you're missing out, man.
The only thing straight and sugary that I really like straight is honey.
Okay, hear me out. You know those like creamers, but they're the ones that are hazelnut? Those are so good.
Man.
They're so good.
And they're all sugar.
I don't know, but they're good.
Okay, well, what does that have to do with eating
I
straight
don't know,
sugar?
they're just good. I'm just
I'm
giving
just
you a
trying to,
list.
I'm just trying to connect the
What does
dots.
this have to do with your assignment?
I'm sorry, sir.
All right,
Don't pay attention.
do I still have more people to bring that program to? I think I do.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like you to turn to page 17, and it looks like this. I'll find it, I will. It looks like. I have it somewhere here. Must be all the way at the top. That's what you have for homework. Ah, this is it. It's not page 17. We already did page 17. It's the page 3 from Friday. So Friday was the statistics. Or, I mean, the standard deviation was on the front page, and then the back was the air selector for the lottery balls. And then this page, it has the ABC down in the middle. I would like you to try to fill that out, please. All the way down to the bottom. And then I will show you what I gifted you in the calculator. Okay, I think all of you guys got it. You two, Rose, got it. Did you get it? Okay. Did anybody over on that side get it?
I do not.
All right. So you work on that. The thing I gave you on Friday. Nope, you're just putting them in your folder for me. My eyes can't handle that many pictures if I'm gonna get them all graded tonight. If I can't think of anything I'd rather do.
Yeah.
Just don't leave without it. And I apologize, I did not get the memo on Friday that the rapid dismissal was moved. I don't know, they took it away from Friday because they didn't think we were smart enough to tell you guys to go get your stuff.
I didn't know until like 5.
Somebody texted G. Crames and said it's been rescheduled, so there's no early dismissal. Okay.
Why did it skip? Why did it skip?
I don't know.
Answer the question why? Why? Should we know?
F stands for fail.
Yeah, but like, why not? Why did it just like have to be that one?
Yeah, like what about all the others?
I don't know. I didn't make it up.
It's my own.
Yes. Yeah, go up to, yeah. Oh, you need, do you want the answers for the multiple choices?
Well, I just want like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go over all of them. We're gonna go over the Ds tomorrow, but we're gonna go over the Cs in just a moment. Yep. There's yours. Oh my God. I can't even get it to you.
what pro is it one fix?
No,
That's already in my phone.
it's a group. I sent you a group called AG Staff. Do you have access to another one from? You did last year.
I used this one last year and it was fine. I think you put it in through this hole. but-
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
All right, give me a moment. The problem is, you're gonna be really sad because I can't update the operating system. Did you use that, did you take calculus first semester? All right, I gave it to you. I tried to give it to you. I gave Marcus, did I give it to you? Okay. Did I give it to you? Okay, I will be back to let you use this one. I just have to put it in the computer first. Is Philip just starting this?
No, I'm like pretty much done with it. Michael's just started it.
I didn't like know you were doing something right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's okay.
I can like do this. What about page 2? We never did page 2.
Well, we talked about page 2.
Okay.
All right.
I will. I won't lose it.
All right. We've all heard it. Okay. So this is asking for the meaning of that notation. That would be the probability that X, and X is a student's grade, is greater or equal to a B, right? So for number 1, it would be, what is the probability that a randomly selected student's grade in online statistics earned a grade of B or higher? Something to that effect. And it does say that X is a random variable, so that's why I have the words randomly selected in there, and that should be 0.68. I assume everybody's okay with that. For number 2, write this event in notation. Student got a grade worse than a C. That means they got a D or an F. So that is x is less than or equal to 1, which is also the same as x is less than 2, either of those. And that's 12% of students in this class got a D or an F, which usually means in college you got to take it over again. So some colleges don't even have Ds, especially if it's for a prerequisite for another course. All right, number 3, you kind of already have a title, sort of. So it's the value of the letter grade and the frequency of the letter grade. This should be relative frequency because it's in a decimal proportion percentage. So this histogram of grade point averages is not symmetric, it's skewed to the left. The median's at 3. How do I know the median is at 3? Because if you go up here, the stack of F's is at 2%, and then if you add 2 to 10, you get 12. To 20, you get 32. You don't get into the 50 range until you are somewhere in the 3s. So that's how I know the median grade is a B. The spread is from 0 to 4, which gives a range of 4 points. You don't have to have that there aren't any outliers or unusual features. The data should be analyzed using the 5-number summary. And then the group I gave you is going to help us with this next part. If there's only 5 of them on the AP stat test and you're asked to do a problem like this, then put all the work in. Did you guys all get a 2.8? The thing that's going to be hard for you to remember, and I'm thinking our first exam is going to be next Tuesday. That's my best guess. It won't be this week. It should probably be on Monday, but I don't give Monday tests. I just refuse. That doesn't mean we're going to have an extra day of review. We'll probably on Monday, we'll have to see how it goes. Be starting chapter 7. We'll do an activity to start chapter 7. So we'll sort of be wrapping up chapter 6.3 this Friday, but you'll have until Tuesday to get ready to take the test. And this is one of the things that I know some people will miss because this is something you have to memorize. If many stat students were randomly selected, their respective GPAs or corresponding GPAs would average 2.8 points. And you don't have to even memorize this formula if you have that sheet, the purple sheet, or a white sheet that you got from the back, and it should be in a slip cover or a sheet protector, because you can use that. Here's mine. Not protected at the moment, but at the top here are these formulas, and we, on Friday, wrote what each of the pieces parts are. So it looks like that, and you get 1, and nicely the square root of 1 is 1. So what is the interpretation? You don't have to have this sentence, the standard deviation of x is 1, but you do have to have if one stat student's randomly selected, their grade point average will typically differ from the mean of 2.8 by about 1 point. All right, let me explain to you why I sent you these things in a group. Because you will be able to do this that I'm going to show you anytime. All right, everybody have their calculators ready? So we're going to ungroup the group AP statistics. And to do that, you're going to press, and Lily, you can get this. Remember to ask me on Wednesday to put this into your calculator, okay? You might even have this group already in a calculator, but you're not going to have the program EXV, I don't think. So hit the second and then the plus sign. That gets you to the memory. And then I want group, which is all the way down, and the quickest way to get there is just to hit the up arrow. And then hit enter. And I want to ungroup it, so go over to ungroup, and AP Stat should be at the top. And then when you hit enter, It might say archived or rewrite all or overwrite all. Just one second. I'm going to say omit for this because these are all archived. And then I'm just going to say overwrite all here, number 3. Yes.
I don't think you'd be.
Oh, well, that would be a problem. Second plus sign, up arrow to group. I need to borrow this again. And then what did I do with, oh, it's right here. Okay, I think, Anya, I think yours is good enough to make it through class. I don't think I give it to you here.
I think
No, that would be why.
So did you say those omit any duplicate names?
Pardon?
Omit any duplicate names?
No, you can just say overwrite all. Mine's saying omit because it was an archived memory.
Okay.
So what you want to do is you want to hit second plus sign, up arrow to group, hit enter, go over to ungroup. And then the only reason I'm doing omit is because it says it's archived. So it's like, okay, don't open that one right now or that one or that one, but overwrite all of the other ones. So this has norm dist in it, and it has EXV, which is expected value. And Mr. Sunderhalf wrote this for us. And basically it does all of the math for the expected value and for the standard deviation and variance of probability distributions. Yep. Okay, so to get this to work, we have to put from up in the top the X values in list 1 and the probability values in list 2. So go to stat, hit edit, find L1. You don't have to use L1, but it's highly recommended. And put in your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in L2, which doesn't necessarily have to be right beside L1, put in your O2, your 0.10, 0.20, 0.42, 0.26. Now, you still have to show this work here for the AP people. For me, you can show like the first one and then put dot, 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 and then put the last one. Same down here. You have to put the first one plus dot, 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 and the last one. All right, so to work this program, hit program, go to EXV, wherever that shows up. When you hit enter, if you have a color screen, it says X value should be in list 1 and the probability value should be in list 2. So is it in list 1? It's asking. Yep. So I'm going to put second 1 and say, yep, they're in list 1. And the probabilities are in list 2, so I'm going to hit second 2. And then there it is. You can verify the work you did by hand.
Is this supposed to be still
You should do second quit. And then do second plus sign. And up arrow to group. And then over to ungroup.
and then value okay?
Let's see. Is it archived? No, we're just gonna hit 3. There you go. Now, that will run for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Woohoo! Okay. So that's that. We have one last thing to do before I give you back your drive sober or get pulled over. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to start this, and then I'm going to put you into teams. You can't use anything but your calculator and your pencil. This page, just keep with your notes. And so we are doing a team challenge. Oh, I know, I was gonna go over the Cs. We'll do that after the team challenge. We'll do the team challenge first. Okay. Yep. This should not be too terribly difficult for us, I'm hoping. Yep. And Lily, you have this one. It's in your folder. It says political party quiz. So it should be purple when it's in that folder that I gave you. Yep, that's it. Everybody get one? And you can write on this. I would definitely write in the answers to the first and second one. And then for the third one, if you're pretty sure you know what to do, write that in as well. This should be much more recognizable, I guess is the word. Yeah, you can just email all of those sheets to me if you want.
Okay.
At the same time.
Like the plain, the cereal, the stuff that you put on for today.
Yep. Any other group left to give me their sheets? Okay, last thing to do is to go over the C's, the multiple choice C's.
C's what?
The C's, the ABCs. And the answers to the C's were egg, boy, boy, cat, cat, dog, dog, and then the CDC, otherwise known as the Center for Disease Control. That was the answer for the C's, which we are going to go over right now. And it wasn't too bad. This is what it looks like for all 50 of y'all. I would like to have a little bit more up there in the 6, 7s, and 8s, but, and here's, we're gonna go over 1, 4, 9, and 10. 10, I totally get. 1 was kind of a trick. So, and four, you have probably some work and corrections to write down for it. All right, so for number 1, the answer was E, not D. And that's because C isn't exactly correct. If the event is an OR event, then you're going to have to subtract the AND out of it. So it's not just the addition of the 2 outcomes. The probability of an event is the sum of the outcomes in the sample space that make up the event. Unless it's an OR, and then you have to subtract the ANDs because you've added them in twice. All right. If A sounds familiar, it's really close to the statement that was in question 1A, but they said be any number between 0 and 1. So, all right. A loaded die such that the number 6 comes up 3 times as often. So here's our X and here's our P of X. We get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If it was a fair die, then all of those down below would be 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6. And some of you, not knowing what to do, said, oh, let's just this be 1, 6, then this will be 3, 6. And if you add those together, you get 4, 6. But the problem with that is, if all the rest of these are 1, 6, what's my sample space add up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3, 8, 6, and that's greater than 1, and that can't happen. So you can't have this as your probability. So what shall we do? Well, if you're not sure what to do, in math, we give it the letter X. So these are all X's, but the 6 is 3X, and what do all those have to add up to? 1. And X plus X plus X plus X plus X plus 3X adds up to 8 X's. And when you divide by 8, you get X equal 1/8. So that's the little trick. So this is really 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, and 3/8. And a 1 or a 6, therefore, would be a 1/8 plus a 3/8, which is 4/8, which simplifies to 1/2, and that's why C is the answer. So that was definitely a sneaky little question. But that's a really good technique, so you might want to like star this. I don't know. That's a really good thing to keep in mind. And some of us, having seen that, will keep it in mind forevermore. And some of us, having seen that, will forget and make the same mistake tomorrow, but we're hoping not to do that. Okay, number 9. Number 9. Experience has shown that a lie detector indicates a lie 10% of the time if the person's actually telling the truth.
Please pardon the interruption. This is an important message from the guidance office. Attention 9th, 10th, and 11th grade students. The scheduling portal in Infinite Campus has now been closed. Some of you never completed the scheduling tasks. If you did not, please stop by guidance today to make an appointment to schedule for next year. You may have received a schedule form mailed to your house. If you have not handed that form in, again, please stop in guidance and make an appointment. Without a schedule in the system, your counselors will have to select your courses for you. So you know
Woohoo! That
any
would
other
be fun.
questions on course requests, placements, or pathways, please send an email to your counselor. Thank you and have a good rest of the day.
Well, thank you, Mr. Okay. So, 95% of the time, if you're lying, it catches you. 10% of the time, if you're telling the truth, it's going to say you're lying. That's bad. We don't care about the 95. This says the probability of observing that nobody's saying that they're lying. If you have 5 suspects, they're all innocent and they all tell the truth. what's the chance that you're gonna let them all go? Because the detector's gonna say, yep, they're telling the truth. Well, there's a 90% chance that you'll see that they're telling the truth, and you want that 5 times. And 0.9 to the 5th power is 0.590 something something, and it is basically the answer D. And number 10 is kind of opposite of this. Can I go to number 10 yet? Okay, so number 10 is an at least 1 is 1 minus none, and we're going to go through this in great detail this week. But basically, to get the answer to this question, you do 1 minus 0.89 to the 5th, because there's an 89% chance you'll lose every month. If there's only 11% chance you'll win. And we will go over the D's later this week. So when you're done, leave your green folder on your desk, bring your red cup back here. Yes.
Can you go back to
With the what? Oh, yes, I can tell you though, it's E, B, B. EBB, what was it? Was it CCDD or was it DDCC? And the last 3 were CDC. So your company is gonna be right there. If you're the guy. Anybody remember? I'll get it for you, Rowan. And you guys know what the homework is, right? Okay, so it was EBB, CCDD, and then CDC. Try to put your cup where you're sitting. That would be you. One back. So you're, yep. Nicely done. Oh, did you get an extra? Thank you. And you are third row, second on that. All right, have a good day. Yes. 4th row, 3rd one.
Yeah.
Philip should be behind you. Yep. Wayne.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Tomorrow will be more fun. I have M&Ms and they're all ready for you. Woo! And you got your cup already. Did you have an extra one also? No?
Big time.
Thank you.
I think people
Oh, I
really
think we
like
need to
them.
go through one.
Dude, everyone really likes
Yeah,
really make all those jokes. They think it's really funny. They definitely do. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was yours. It looked like mine, but I
Yeah.
just,
They love
then I
every
saw all the
moment.
frozen
They don't
stuff
care
on
about
your,
their votes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
and I thought, oh, well, maybe it is hers because.
Yeah, that was my sister's couple was my Chromebook, and I just kind of let them do it.
Yeah, that's okay. So how many younger sisters do you have?
Well, counting Rachel, I have 300 sisters, and I have 300 brothers. So
Holy
it's
cow!
it's a lot of fun. in my
Any
house.
twins?
No, we're all just
So
like
your parents had 6 kids.
7 kids counting me. So
Wow,
yep,
that's a lot.
yeah.
And you're the oldest.
Yep.
Woohoo!
So fun.
I bet.
Yeah. Have a great day.
I bet it actually really is.
It honestly is like I always if I'm mad at somebody, like Rachel and I never fight because we're always just mad at somebody else. Like
How young is the youngest?
she just turned 6. So yeah.
Very fun.
Yep.
Very good.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye, Lily. Sorry. We'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
All right.
Might be bad.
Hey,
She might be in class tomorrow,
okay.
depending. I don't know what time they have to be in court.
In court?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the whole other part of this, where her mom's insane,
Oh,
so there's like a restraining order against her since they weren't finished being divorced yet.
and she was living with her
So
dad?
she was living with her dad.
Oh.
So now Summer's at my house, and then today, her aunt got temporary 24-hour custody.
Which is her aunt on her father or
Her aunt
mother's
on her
side?
father's side,
Okay, is
and
that
then
good?
that's good.
Okay,
And then so
but her mom
tomorrow,
wants custody.
so tomorrow they have to go back and have an actual, and her mom's gonna be there. And
Where
then
does her mom live? In the area?
she,
I took my next.
so she
Uh-oh,
before Liz, she worked at the Bertram,
okay,
and then she was laid off. And then she was living there.
okay.
And within 3 or 4 hours of Summer's dad dying, she had started moving into his house, which isn't the most legal thing,
With the girls.
with Summer there. And then,
Does she have any, she has an older sibling?
yes.
That's
but
it.
That's it.
And so Summer was living just with
So-
her dad, but then her mom just moved in.
Yeah, right.
And I'm assuming that Summer and her mom don't really get along that well.
They sometimes, on occasion, do.
Okay,
But then we had to get Summer out of there because there's a restraining order. And
so it's not just,
it's not just that.
so was
It's much
Summer
more.
home when her dad passed away?
No. So, he was in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So what had happened was,
I did hear that he drove himself to the hospital.
yeah, so on, I think Thursday night, something started hurting, and then
Mhm.
throughout Friday, he just let me know it would pass. And then Friday morning, Summer was asleep, and he just drove himself to the hospital. And then sometime early afternoon on Saturday morning, like 4 in the morning, he went. And then Saturday in the early afternoon,
He passed away.
Yeah.
So it was too late.
yes.
You waited too long. Did Summer know he was even hurting?
Yeah. And she was telling him to go to the hospital. But
He
he just
wouldn't
thought, assuming if something hurts, he just, maybe
Yeah.
it'll pass. If it doesn't, I'll go.
Oh,
Because he was only waiting for a day. That's most people wouldn't go to the hospital in a couple hours if something hurt.
yeah,
And I was talking to him during that day, and it didn't seem
like he was,
terrible.
yeah.
Just-
What was hurting?
So it started so first it's her throat, and then it felt like something was moving down,
Mm,
and then so they don't actually know what it is.
Hmm.
So I think they're doing an autopsy on him.
okay.
But then also, so if she is in class, are the sheets that are going to be used in the packet, or is it something? Okay.
Yeah, we won't need new sheets till Wednesday.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and that's what I'm putting together right now after
Got it.
school. All right, give her a hug for me. I'm so sorry. That's awful. On top of awful.